When the Bunker Hill Monument was completed in 1843, interested crowds flocked to visit. They could ascend to the monument's top either by walking up the 294 steps or by riding the steam-powered construction elevator, although this was soon dismantled. Some of the visitors to the monument included author Charles Dickens, Colonel Robert Gould Shaw, the future King Edward VII, General William Tecumseh Sherman, future British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, President Calvin Coolidge, and future President John F. Kennedy. From 1860 to 1916, approximately 20 to 31,000 people climbed the monument each year. A replica of the original wooden 1794 Dr. Joseph Warren Memorial, carved in marble, was placed in the interior of the Bunker Hill Monument on June 24, 1845. Another memorial to Warren, a larger-than-life statue carved from Italian marble, was created by artist Henry Dexter in 1857. The statue was housed in a one-story wooden structure adjacent to the Bunker Hill Monument for the next 50 years. Another statue was eventually added to the Bunker Hill Monument grounds, this one in bronze, of Colonel William Prescott, one of the colonial heroes of the Battle of Bunker Hill. The statue was originally sculpted by William Wetmore Story and then cast in Rome. It was installed on the south side of the Bunker Hill Monument in 1881. Two bronze cannons were also installed in the top observation chamber in 1843, referred to as the Hancock and Adams cannons. The cannons were likely forged in England and then acquired by Massachusetts in 1768. These two 3-pound cannons, meaning they fired a 3-pound round, the cannon barrels themselves weighed 450 pounds, were hidden by colonists near Concord and used during the Revolutionary War. The Hancock cannon was removed in 1969 when a bracket holding it to the monument wall broke loose. The cannon was then lost for 20 years before being found in a police storage room in 1989 and has since been relocated to Minuteman National Historical Park. The remaining Adams cannon was removed in 2014 and relocated to the Bunker Hill Lodge. The hole in the Adams cannon dates from 1820, when a piece of the barrel was accidentally blasted away when the cannon was fired. Another addition to the top of the monument included a 70-foot-tall wooden pole, topped by a gilded ball. During the Civil War, it displayed an American flag, and was removed after the Union victory. Speaking of flags, still visible at the top of the monument are circular metal rings placed in the windows, which still perplex visitors today. Neither in placements for telescopes or cannon barrels, these rings once held large flagpoles, which displayed American flags from the upper windows on special occasions. However, hauling flagpoles to the top of the monument necessitated a complicated rigging process, and it has been many years since flags were last displayed. In 1849, the Bunker Hill Monument Association decided that no names, dates, or other markers should be added to the monument itself. As a result, in 1889, bronze tablets listing 140 names of colonial soldiers killed at the Battle of Bunker Hill were not installed on the monument grounds, but rather nearby at Winthrop Square, a park in Charlestown known as Training Field, where colonial militia once mustered. In 1901, work began on the current classical revival-style Bunker Hill Lodge, adjacent to the monument, which was completed in 1903. Like the wooden building it replaced, this new granite structure exhibited the statue of Joseph Warren. Once a place to relax after the exertion of climbing the monument's 294 steps, the lodge soon filled with historical portraits and exhibits about the battle. However, the $36,000 spent constructing the lodge and a deficit in operating fees caused ownership of the Bunker Hill Monument and its grounds to pass from the Monument Association to the state of Massachusetts in 1919. From then on out, admission to the monument was controlled by the Metropolitan District Commission. For visitors who wished to ascend to the top, it cost 10 cents to climb. The Bunker Hill Monument became a National Historic Landmark in 1961 and joined the National Register of Historic Places in 1966. After the closure of the Charlestown Navy Yard, Boston National Historical Park was established on October 1st, 1974. 2 years later, in 1976, ownership of the Bunker Hill Monument passed from Massachusetts to the National Park Service, which has operated this historic structure and told the history of the battle fought on its grounds ever since. Exhibits, with the exception of the Warren statue, were relocated from the lodge to a former Charlestown Library building, which has been open as the Free Bunker Hill Museum since 2007. More than just a lofty view, the site of the Bunker Hill Monument has endowed reverence, perspective, and inspiration for the approximate 330,000 annual visitors who come here to learn about Revolutionary War history. These grounds have been used for parades, speeches, and rallies, or even for those who just want to enjoy one of Boston's green spaces. What will your visit bring?